I always go to the two things that small business owners care about the most, right? The first of those is capital to fuel their business, and the other is just time to work on their business. And I think there's an opportunity for banks to do more than 10x in that space. Thinking about the capital side, it's just very well understood how big the gap or the opportunity is, right? I think the World Bank just put a report, talking about more than 2 trillion in terms of the funding gap that exists for small businesses. Just illustrating that example, I noticed in New Zealand, right, in 2023, the number 5 bank actually ended up writing 70% of the new business loans, which tells you something about what the others didn't do. So I think there's just a massive opportunity for banks to step up there in provision of credit that's so critical for small businesses. Of course, the challenge historically has been the cost to serve there and also how to manage the risk. I think the thing that's unlocking that now is the combination of the increased digitization of businesses and commerce in general, but then the capabilities we have in using that data with AI and so on. So I think we're progressing to a time where banks can lean into that, can leverage these newer capabilities, and extend that credit at an acceptable cost and an acceptable level of risk.
I think that it's going to be everywhere. I think it starts. We can't kind of address the elephant in the room by saying that you need it for data purposes, but it will start from operational. It will start from the way that you manage your cloud environment. It will evolve into the way that you manage your assets, your technical assets, your commercial assets, the way that you even manage your manpower. And when it comes to AI, everything needs to be smarter. And that's what Gen AI and AI as a whole gives to us. It's the possibility to completely revolutionize the way that we address any question. So it's no longer just a question of why my revenues are down. It's also about why my systems are slower than before. How do I predict the peak? How do I make sure that my manpower is equipped with the right knowledge and expertise to address the Christmas peak, which is something that you guesstimate about nowadays, right? People use experience to kind of predict what will happen next. And I'm absolutely sure that everything will become smarter. But it's not just the way that we use data. It's pretty much the way we use every asset. I think first we need to understand that these sorts of projects are very complicated to begin with. Taking a system that was built for tens of years and trying to modernize and taking business logic out of it and keeping yourself compliant and keeping yourself providing the same seamless experience to your customers it's a big assignment or big project to be dealing with. And I think what we've done successfully is the capability to break it down into manageable pieces. I think if you look at agile way of working, one of the biggest advantages of it is the possibility to break the project into smaller, meaningful pieces with actual value. And that's what we offer. And that's what we've been doing for more than 10 years now. It's the possibility to take a very complicated project that has significant activities to be performed, including reverse engineering of code, migration to cloud, reverse or reanalyzing your business logic and rebuilding and restructuring that, but breaking it into manageable pieces that can bring business value as well. So it's no longer a 5-year contract or a 5-year project that only at the end of the line you see if you are fired or you succeeded. It's more about how do you break it into pieces that are manageable and that can bring real business value in a short time frame, within 6 to 7 months. And that's what we've been doing successfully. And I think that's a game changer. That's the expectation of the market as well.
I think it depends on the context, right? There will be some projects where the primary driver for the project is, something that's legacy, right? Maybe it's a critical solution that's moving out of support. So in that case, the driver is really about risk. It may also be about cost of maintaining that. So I think the answer is fairly simple in that case, right? About how to articulate the benefits of that, and risk is always, a pretty prominent driver when we're talking about financial services organizations. But I think, in generalizing a little bit more, our preference is always to anchor the ROI around the customer, right? And so if we are going to, let's say, break up a large monolithic solution, rather than going sort of big bang, if there's a way to break it into smaller chunks but making sure that each of those smaller chunks in themselves deliver some tangible, and maybe I should say measurable, customer benefit. I think that's really important, and the other business leaders can kind of get around that. And if you articulate that sufficiently clearly so that you can measure it, when you reach that first milestone, it kind of adds to the momentum behind the overall modernization program, right? Because you've delivered some value, there's some initial impact, everyone feels good about that, and you can kind of keep going.